News Prime tonight, the President Tinubu reaffirms commitment to improved healthcare service. VP Shettima says poor governance responsible for banditry kidnapping in Northwest. Singapore ex-deputy elected president. And in sports, Brunei arrives in China for Diamond League, a Muslim site for Oregon. Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV News Prime, live in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Wiyag Mofwegwe. President Bola Tinubu on Friday in Abuja declared his unwavering support for a partnership between the Federal Ministry of Health's National Eye Health Program and the Peak Vision Foundation to provide more than 5 million pairs of eyeglasses to Nigerians with sight impairments. According to a statement by presidential spokesman Ajuri Ngelale, the president recounted how close to home his first intervention in eye care was as he made a pledge on behalf of the federal government during a courtesy visit by the founder and CEO of Peak Vision Foundation and co-founder of the Vision Catalyst Fund, Professor Andrew Besteros, highlighting the pressing need for improved eye health services in Nigeria. President Tinubu expressed concern about the more than 24 million Nigerians grappling with varying degrees of vision impairment. At the end of the event, the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Mohammed Ali Pate, was joined by the coordinator of the National Eye Health Program, Dr. Oteri Okolo, and the Director of Public Health, Dr. Chukwuma Ayanke, as he presented a national policy document on eye health to the President. Elsewhere, President Bola Tinubu has solicited the support of the United Nations in Nigeria's fight against terrorism in light of its rippling effects on global peace, displacements of people, and rising poverty. He made the appeal at an audience with the Under-Secretary General of the United Nations Office on Counter-Terrorism, Vladimir Voronkov, at the State House on Thursday. The president noted that terrorism had consistently reversed the gains of development and increased instability in families and communities. He said that the UN needs to be more consistent in dealing with it in the developing world context. Tinubu said that global peace and prosperity would demand the swift and comprehensive provision of the right answers to the challenge posed by insurgencies in parts of the world. The Under-Secretary General commended the country's contributions toward global counter-terrorism efforts. He said that Nigeria already had a framework on prevention, mitigation, and reconciliation, that the efforts had been valuable in tackling terrorism. Vice President Kashim Shettima says poor governance has a direct bearing on the spate of banditry and kidnapping in the northwest geopolitical zone of the country. Shettima spoke when he hosted the coalition of Northern States Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, CONSIMA, at the presidential villa in Abuja. The coalition was led by its president, Dalatu Abubakar. The vice president said re-engineering and re-strategizing affairs in the north is necessary to project the region into accelerated development. Shettima said stakeholders in the entire north have to go back to the drawing board, reassess the state of affairs in the region, and come up with robust platforms for re-engineering Nigerian society. The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) says it will begin a two-day warning strike on September 5, 2023, in preparation for a total shutdown, which will start in 21 days. The decision was taken at the end of its National Executive Council meeting, which was held in the early hours of Friday. A communique released by the Labour Center and jointly signed by its national president, Joe Ajaero, and Secretary Emmanuel Ogbaja said it decided to take the decision following the failure of the Tinubu government to enter into dialogue and engage stakeholders within the organized labor on efforts to cushion the effects of the removal of subsidy on premium spirits, popularly known as petrol, on the poor masses. Already, the organized labor had in August staged a one-day protest in major cities across the country. Listing some of the other reasons it would mobilize its members for the nationwide shutdown, the center accused the Nigeria Police of laying siege to the national headquarters of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, alleged exploitation of the rights of workers in Imo State, interference in trade union matters by the Abia State government, proposed demolition by the new Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, amongst others. The The federal government, through the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, has expressed its desire to maximize the generating capacity of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, SAN, disclosed this during a recent visit to the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. Keyamo, who spoke through the head press and public relations of the ministry, Odutayo Lushaye, stated that 60% of FAN's revenue comes from Lagos, emphasizing the need to utilize the new terminal effectively. He added that the new terminal boasts 60 check-in points and has the capability to handle a significant amount of air traffic. Keyamo also addressed the state of the old terminal, stating that it requires a complete overhaul. Notably, the central cooling system, according to him, is non-functioning and says there are numerous areas that require maintenance. As a result, the minister directed all airlines operating in the old terminal to relocate their check-in counters to the new terminal within a period of 3 months. The federal government has said that it will decentralize fire response centers by opening up more response points equipped with fire trucks to cut down emergency response time. Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo made this known during a familiarization visit to the national headquarters of the Federal Fire Service, FFS, in Abuja. He said the FFS, as a key agency in safeguarding the lives and property of Nigerians, must be able to respond to emergencies within the shortest possible time, because fire accidents and related emergencies can wreak massive havoc within a very short time. Controller General FFS Abdulganiyu Jaji said the service is bedeviled by attacks on firefighters by the public, staff housing deficits, budgetary constraints, and the need for a befitting national headquarters. Jaji further appealed to the minister to keep the renewed hope agenda by bringing fire service closer to the people, thereby decreasing response time, which, according to him, is one of the service's major challenges. Determined to ensure the palliative measures to cushion the negative multiplier effects of the fuel subsidy removal on the people get further down the grassroots, Governor Umo Eno of Akwa Ibom State has augmented the package from the federal government with 1 billion naira. He has shown that with the augmentation of the palliative with 1 billion naira, coupled with the 3,000 bags of rice and 2 billion so far received from the federal government, the over 2,700 villages in the state should be hopeful to get at least 50 bags of rice each. Explaining the modus operandi of sharing the materials, he warned that state government has gathered intelligence on some persons trying to disrupt the peace in the state by inciting the youth to cause a breach of the law and peace in the state, and cautioned the youth to be wary of such people. Similarly, the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, has flagged off the distribution of palliatives in the state, reminding citizens that the items for distribution are meant for all Imo citizens, regardless of their political affiliation. Governor Uzodinma spoke at the premises of the Imo State Ministry of Digital Economy and E-Government, Owerri, the state capital, where he also inspected the warehouse containing thousands of bags of rice procured by the government for distribution. He confirmed that Imo State has received its share. Out of the 4 billion naira, 2 billion has been released to the state, the governor assured the people, while indicating that the federal government will deliver maize worth over 1 billion naira to the 36 states of the federation, which means 1 billion worth of maize will also be delivered to Imo State. The governor indicated that they are waiting to take delivery of the maize. Away from Nigeria now, as Niger's situation becomes protracted, there have been several allegations and concerns over the mode of operation of the junta that ousted President Mohamed Bazoum. The coup plotters are now believed to be draining the country's meager resources, including by alleged extortion of SONIDEP, the National Petroleum Company, and diversion of customs taxes to put people on the streets with the intention of creating an illusion of popular support. For a country that is grappling with humongous socio-economic challenges, the Republic of Niger, as a matter of urgency, needs a return to democratic governance. Recall that President Bazoum was forcefully removed from office following the July 26 coup that saw to his ouster and subsequent detention. You're watching Global TV News Prime, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using at Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When News Prime returns, Bauchi State Governor moves against illegal charcoal business, threatens severe penalty on those found wanting. We'll be back after this short break with these and other stories for you. This is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of News Prime from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed has declared war on illegal charcoal business, warning that those found wanting will be dealt with severely. He said these while flagging off the 2023 tree planting campaign in Dongal, a community in Bauchi local government area. The governor ordered the deployment of youths across the state to nurture nursery plants to supply the required number of trees to be planted in the state. He also directed chairmen of all the 20 local government areas and traditional rulers to embark on aggressive tree planting campaigns to save the environment. The Commissioner for Housing and Environment, Danlami Kawule, said the exercise is a roadside plantation covering over 12 kilometers from Miri to Mobile Filling Station on both sides of the road. President Bola Tinubu has been urged to redirect the ongoing fight against oil theft in the creeks of the Niger Delta region to powerful oil cartel in Abuja, who use their positions and influence to rob the country of its resources. Rivers State Governor Simi Nalayi Fubara, who disclosed these, also faulted the federal government's ceding of contracts for security and surveillance of oil pipelines in the hands of an individual or a few persons, asserting that the development will not help the fight against oil theft. Addressing the Joint Presidential Committee on Crude Oil Theft on facility tour of the Niger Delta, who were in Government House, Port Harcourt, at the weekend, Fubara said until the federal government clamps down on the powerful Abuja cartel bankrolling oil theft, no amount of efforts would end the economic sabotage associated with the crime. Rivers State Chief Executive also noted that security of pipelines should not be placed in the hands of one man or a few individuals. The National Commissioner of the Nigeria Data Protection Commission, NDPC, Vincent Olatunji, has disclosed that the Commission has formed a joint committee with the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to review the regulation mandating financial institutions to obtain social media handles, among other data of customers. He disclosed this in a two-day sensitization workshop on data privacy and protection in Abuja on Thursday. Earlier in June this year, the CBN had mandated financial institutions to obtain the social media handles, email addresses, telephone numbers, residential addresses, and more of their customers. This formed part of its new customer due diligence regulations and is in a bid to further deepen the identification process in the banking system. The CBN stated that its new regulation was created to provide additional customer due diligence measures for financial institutions under its regulatory purview. However, the NDPC had kicked against the regulation, describing it as unnecessary. Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, during the event expressed the federal government's commitment to the protection of digital platforms to build the confidence of citizens while online. Let's turn to foreign scene now, where Tharman Shanmugaratnam, former Singapore Deputy Prime Minister, has been elected to the ceremonial post of president according to official results in an election seen as a barometer of public sentiment towards the ruling party amid economic challenges. The Elections Department on Friday declared the 66-year-old economist as the winner over two rival candidates after securing 70.4% of votes. A longtime leader of the ruling People's Action Party, PAP, he resigned from the government and the party ahead of the first contested presidential election in more than a decade. While the presidency is a largely ceremonial, non-partisan post under the Constitution, political lines were already drawn ahead of Friday's election to replace incumbent Halima Yacob, who ran unopposed for her 6-year term in 2017. The city-state government is run by the Prime Minister, currently Lee Hsien Loong, of the PAP, a party that has ruled Singapore continuously since 1959. A federal judge on Thursday sentenced former far-right Proud Boys leaders Joseph Biggs to 17 years in prison and his co-defendant Zachary Rell to 15 years after a jury convicted them of seditious conspiracy for storming the U.S. Capitol in a failed bid to overturn Donald Trump's 2020 election defeat. The prison terms handed down by U.S. District Judge Timothy Kelly for Biggs and Rell, the first Proud Boys convicted of seditious conspiracy to be sentenced for their roles in the January 6, 2021 attack, were below U.S. sentencing guidelines and far lower than 33 and 38 terms sought by federal prosecutors. Kelly said on Thursday he was not trying to minimize the violence that occurred on January 6, but noted that the event was still not on par with a mass casualty event and imposing a stricter sentence that could create disparities. For updates on entertainment, let's now join Favor Olosego.
Nigerian music sensation Patrick Nnaemeka Okorie, widely recognized as Pato Rankin, recently delighted fans by performing tracks from his latest album, World's Best, at an exclusive listening party held in Westlands, Nairobi. The event, hosted at Vanguard Lounge on August 25th, brought together an impressive array of music industry stakeholders, including representatives from Boomplay, influential figures from the lifestyle scene, and members of the media. During the event, Pato Rankin, who consistently labels himself as the world's best musician, took the stage to showcase the entirety of his album, which boasts an impressive lineup of 15 tracks. The album is poised for a grand release on September 6th, much to the anticipation of his dedicated fans. Pato Rankin has solidified his presence as a trailblazer in the African music scene, especially within the dancehall genre. His innovative approach to music has garnered him a massive following and critical acclaim. With each release, his creativity and authenticity shines through. Looking at part of his musical journey, Pato Rankin has been marked by a string of successful albums. His debut album, released in 2016, captured attention globally and secured a notable position on Billboard's reggae albums chart, featuring chart-topping tracks like No Kissing Baby, Love Town, Halle Halle, and Beautiful. The album announced Pato Rankin's arrival on the international stage. I am Oloshegun Favor, reporting from Global TV.
As we turn to sports now, Minister for Sport John Eno has said in Lagos that his administration has endorsed the concession of the National Stadium in Surulere as well as other stadia nationwide to private individuals who will help to revamp and maintain them. Eno, on his first official inspection of facilities at the National Stadium Surulere, stated that the deplorable state of the stadium moved him to tears, adding that the only way to rescue the facilities is through a government-private sector partnership. And also emphasized the need to work closely with special athletes who have won many laurels for the country at international engagements, saying that he intends to grow sports at the grassroots by introducing youth competitions in different sports with emphasis on areas like Ajegunle and other densely populated communities that have abundant talent. S.A. Brume, a three-time World Athletics Championships indoors and outdoors medalist, is seeking to become the second Nigerian to compete in the final of the Diamond League. She was confirmed for the Chairman-China meeting this Saturday, September 2nd, 2023. According to Brume's coach, Kayode Yahaya, who was part of Team Nigeria's squad to the 19th World Athletics Championships in Budapest, said the long jumper has arrived in China. Brume, who narrowly missed a podium finish by placing fourth in the long jump in Budapest, is in China for the 12th leg of Diamond League to earn the points that would enable her to join her compatriots Toby Amuson in Eugene, Oregon, United States in a fortnight. The Diamond League final will hold at the Hayford Field in Eugene, Oregon, U.S. this month. Amuson will be seeking to become the second woman after Dawn Nelson Harper to win the high hurdles 3 consecutive times. Let's have some more sports updates from Sharon Ajay.
Nigerians under-18 women's handball coach Shitu Agbiola has invited 18 players for camping in preparation of the 19th African Women's Youth Nations Championship, scheduled to hold in Monestiers, Tunisia from the 16th to the 23rd of September 2023, and will serve as a qualifier for the 2024 Youth Handball World Cup. Those invited are primarily comprised of players who went unbeaten all through the IHF Trophy African Zone 3 phase in Ghana and the IHF Trophy African Continental phase in Abidjan. Ivory Coast to qualify for the IHF Trophy Intercontinental phase, which will be held later in the year. Camping commenced on Wednesday with the players arriving at Rowe Park Sports Centre in Yaba, Lagos, to begin intensive preparation ahead of the championship. In the world of football, Real Madrid are closing in on signing Kylian Mbappe following the reduction of the €250 million to €50 million offer by the PSG owners in Qatar. Mbappe signing could reportedly take place this weekend. Mbappe would be on a contract worth around €50 million per year, making him the highest earner in Real Madrid, although it will be lower than what he earns at the PSG. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you, Sharon. As we end News Prime here on Global TV, a quick look at some of our top stories. President Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to improved healthcare service. VP Shettima has stated that poor governance is responsible for banditry kidnapping in Northwest. Singapore ex-deputy PM has been elected president. And finally, we told you Brunei arrived in China for Diamond League and also on set for Oregon. And that's a full circle here on Global TV News Prime, live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using that Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Uyag Mofwegwe, thanking you so specially for watching. I'll see you again.